Hey, we're live. Sorry, Larry was blocked from. Oops, I just hung up on him. Are you there? Yeah, I accidentally hung up on you. Instead of hitting speaker, I hit off. So I'm sorry. Larry's with us. Sorry, we have to go old school again. We tried to get him in through the computer, through StreamYard, and it would not allow us to let him on. It just buffered, and then he came on and there was no sound. So somebody doesn't want him talking today. So Larry, you are live, and we have 2 people in the chat, and right now it's okay. Now we've got 16 people, so take it away.
Folks, I'm very sick today, so you'll have to forgive me, and I don't have much air to project my voice, so please, I hope you can hear me. Well, let's talk first of the election last night. There's controversy over the Kentucky gubernatorial race. I want to say to all of you that there are times when you have bad candidates and you can't win. You cannot win with an absolutely terrible candidate. The governor of Kentucky was not liked by the people of that state. He was arrogant. He was almost a bully of sorts. And so there was a strong chance he was destined to lose from the get-go. And it's nobody's fault but his. Nobody's. President Trump did the incredible. He should have lost by 15 to 20 points. That's how bad he is perceived in that state. As I'm told, I'm not from there. I think Brenda or somebody that's here is from the state, so maybe they know better than I. But the word I get is that he was just literally not liked. Trump, holding the rally, did the best he could do. And as I told y'all yesterday, President Trump runs a risk. When he goes and conducts these rallies to try to save these candidates in various states and races, he runs a risk. You know, if they win, he won't be recognized by the mainstream media. They'll never say it. But if they lose, they will brag till 8 days of Sunday that he's lost his appeal. And they will use it to try to get Trump's soft base to become disillusioned. Now let's get serious about Kentucky. No, the governor didn't win. But they made, as far as I understand, they made major gains in the state house. Plus, they elected the first black attorney general in their history. Quite an accomplishment. But the race that should be the most significant to us is Mississippi. The race there for governor, the Democrat, folks, I'm telling you, he was as hard a pro-abortion, pro-everything we hate as ever was. But he ran as though he were a conservative Democrat. That was the one I was afraid was lost. But thanks to President Trump going in, holding the rally, firing the people up, I believe he played a major part in in saving that race. That was a good win. Now, when you think about what the media mainstream saying about, oh my God, Trump's in trouble because for the first time in however long or if ever, Virginia State House has gone solidly blue, Democratic. I want y'all to think, although Virginia is considered a southern state, remember, the population of Virginia, a good portion of that population work in Washington, D.C.
Even if they live 2 hours away, they'll drive up to DC.
And a large number of the people in Virginia actually work for the government. And the workers in Virginia that work for the government, they are the career employees that will Trump out. So don't lose any sleep over Virginia. That's not a sign of anything. It's not. Not to me anyway. It may be to somebody, but to me, it's not. As a matter of fact, I'm amazed that it's taken Virginia this long to become a solid blue state as it has. So don't worry about it. The media's going to play it up. Oh my God, they're going to play it up. But just don't worry about it.
Okay, hang on a second, Larry. MW is saying Virginia swept. Governor of Kentucky, Dems won that too. Just like the midterms, true Dems swept. Thank you, socialism. Here we come. So please listen to what Larry is saying. This is not as significant as we are being made to think. Don't listen to the mainstream media telling that, you know, the people have turned against Trump. Like Larry just said, it's a surprise that Virginia didn't do this sooner. So hang on.
I know it's easy to say. Here we go again, just like 2016. Here we go again. It's not the same, folks. I don't know if you trust me or not, but I don't know much in the world, but I know politics. And I know also, you should know, by the way, that I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to smoke you up with junk. I'm not going to try to fire you up with stuff that's not true just to make you feel good. I won't do that. I'm telling you, the Virginia vote is not indicative of a quote-unquote sweep of the nation like we saw in 2016. By the way, the reason we lost in 2016...
You mean Larry, do you mean 16 or 18?
18, I told you I'm 6.
Yeah.
Dog. In 2018, the reason we lost, it wasn't because people were turning. The country wasn't turning. It's simple. What happened in 2018 is our side did not show up and vote. That's what happens when we don't vote. This side did. Now, are we guilty of our candidates and the people in the Republican Party sleeping through it and not being as aggressive as they should have been? Yes. Blame that on the party hierarchy. They should have been aggressive, but I think they were so enamored with what was going on with Trump and how great the economy was doing and how great everything looked that they were thinking we didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to do much. And look what happened. That's why I fight so hard today. I worry about that today. That's what I've told y'all time and time again when it comes to the soft days that we've got to make vote. Remember, the soft days can get disillusioned, so therefore they don't vote. But another problem with the soft days, if they think they've got it in the bag as section of this nation is either perfectly okay with us transforming our form of government to socialism, or possibly even want it that way. That's bad. That's serious. This is a serious situation. It exists. It is real. It is. But understand how all of this works before you make a judgment call. Know what you're doing before you make a judgment call. And the reason I tell you that is because you're going to all come into contact with people, soft-based people, or hard-based people, your friends, maybe your relatives, people you come in contact with. They're going to come at you and say, oh boy, Trump's in trouble now. You've got to explain this to them. You've got to explain it to them. You've got to let them know what happened in 2018. It was not a movement against President Trump. Go and look at the voting numbers. Look at them. It wasn't a movement for the nation turning to President Trump. That movement was caused by a goodly percentage of President Trump's soft base did not go vote. Didn't think they had to, thought they had it in the bag. Ladies and gentlemen, that can happen again in 2020, except if it happens in 2020, we're finished. We are finished. Now, there were two questions before the program. One was, will President Trump be promoting, I'm paraphrasing, will President Trump be promoting the use of paper ballots? Absolutely. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, he's already been doing it. He's already in some of his rallies brought it up, telling the audience you must vote with a paper ballot.
And remember, don't vote early because that gives them time to change your ballot.
They can change or lose your ballot.
Or lose it, right?
Now, if y'all don't believe that, I would remind you to go back to Al Gore and Bush, that election, when all of a sudden many of the military overseas, their votes absentee lost and did not get counted. They never got counted. They were lost. Use a paper ballot, and please don't vote early voting. Please don't. I know that's a problem. I know it's a pain to go election day and vote, but we're trying to help secure your vote, the record of your vote. But President Trump will be promoting the use of paper ballots as he already has. The second question was, do I think, I'm paraphrasing this right, do I believe there was fraud committed in the Kentucky gubernatorial race? So far, what I know about is that some of the heavy Democratic, liberal voting precinct areas, oddly, they were kept open past the time they were supposed to shut it down. They were kept open so more people could get their vote in. Now, as I look at the numbers, I don't know how many votes for sure that amounts to. But it certainly would not amount to enough votes to turned that election around since it was down to like 4,000 or 5,000 votes. There probably wasn't that many votes in question.
I understand that Bevan has called for a recount.
He will. And in a way, I guess I don't blame him, but I don't see much hope in that. I do know President Trump will not support him in a recount. I can't tell you how I know, but just know that I'm telling you President Trump does not plan to support him in this recount. So, there you go.
Yeah. Well, there was an awful lot of other races that the Republicans won, and won even unexpectedly. So, I mean, the governor has a lot of power, but we have to hope that some of these other Republicans that got in will help to balance.
The count I got this morning was that we had a major numerical victory in races. In the races that were run, both state, etc., even down to some of the down ballot tickets. The Republican Party fared very, very well. It fared better than the Democratic Party did this special election period. It did. So don't be disillusioned and don't be downhearted. We won, if you want to say we as Republicans, conservatives, won way more races than the Democrats. Way more races yesterday. But so many of the races were down ballot. When I say down ballot, I mean like sheriffs and judges at state level, etc., state reps, you know, the whole 9 yards. Once again, I want to remind you, I don't feel good, so please forgive me if I sound down. I'm not down. I'm just hurting and sucking for air, trying to get air.
Folks, let me, Larry, take a break a sec. Anybody who can do anything, he's really going to need some extra help today when he's this sick. When that happens, he needs extra help. I thank God very much for, and the folks that helped yesterday. You made a huge difference. You know, he's been working very, very hard today already. I'm sure he's not done if he can possibly keep going. So he's going to need some help. His PayPal account is nicholslive@aol.com. So we're going to need to do whatever we can to dig deep and keep him here with us, because we need him in the fight. We need to keep him going for another, got to keep him here till the election again. So do what you can, folks. nicholslive@aol.com is his PayPal account. nicholslive.com. The website has, on the donate page, has links to his PayPal account. It's got his mailing address for cash only, and a text message, phone number to get help to do, if you need to do checks or something else, then you need to talk to me about that. So anything more?
Right now, I hate to beg like a bum on the side of the road, but I have to, because right now is when what I know how to do and what I do is critical. With the impeachment coming up, with all of this stuff that's going on, with many of the testimonies given in these closed door hearings, now many of them are starting to change their story. I've got to find out what shift that I gotta have help to do it. I can hardly walk across the room right now. So if you can, please relate to or converse with. This process of this impeachment is fundamentally flawed. Do you hear me? It is fundamentally flawed. And I'm not just talking about the sealed hearings, closed door hearings. I'm not talking about where the Republicans can't ask questions, can't even take notes. I'm not even talking about that. It's fundamentally flawed. And here's why. Nixon was investigated and found to be guilty of the break-in. He tried to cover up the break-in. But he was found guilty by the investigating person. I can't remember his name. The person the government hired to investigate the situation. They investigated and they found that he had played a part in it. So basically what I'm telling you, the investigation that was conducted by basically a special counsel or prosecutor found that he had committed a crime. He had violated the law. And for that, then they impeached. Then they did the impeachment process. You got it? With Clinton, you all should know, Ann got sent 15. Thank you, Ann, so much. With Clinton, you should know that Kenneth Starr did a thorough, complete investigation hired by Congress as a special prosecutor, which they don't use anymore. They outlawed those after him. Here was a special counsel, which is just a little different. But Kenneth Starr found 11 crimes Clinton had committed. The one you heard the most about was perjury. He committed perjury. So then you have the impeachment process start with the House over the crime that the special prosecutor had found that he had done. You got it? There was a crime. The investigative bodies found the crime. Then they turned it over to the House for the impeachment inquiry in the process. With Trump, no one has no official investigative body has found there to be a crime. Do you hear me? There has not been a crime confirmed. So what Schiff is doing is he's using the impeachment inquiry and now the impeachment process to find a crime. I guess I'd say he's going fishing until they can find a crime. Ladies and gentlemen, nobody can stand up to that. Think of your own life if you've got a local prosecutor that comes after you and exercises the legal system, which he can't do, by the way, under law. But remember, this is impeachment in the House, so therefore there are no laws governing it, just historical rules. But what would you do if you had a prosecutor that started delving into every aspect of your life, from your income tax to how you drive, to when you got a parking ticket? Did you pay all your bills? Did you do this? Did you do that? Did you ever tell anybody a lie? How would you come out when they're going after you like that? And the prosecutor just keeps going until he finds something finally that he can use to prosecute you with. Think about the stress you would be under. about the power somebody would have over you for that.
And Larry, isn't that what you have said communism does all the time with people?
Every day this is done in communism. In socialist and communist countries, this process you're witnessing right before our very eyes is done every day. Every day. So what are you going to do about it? You see? What are we going to do about it? Shift can hold, as I understand, they're going to start it next Wednesday. Now, I'm not sure they will yet. That's what they're claiming. But as with all things, with Pelosi and Shift and the crew, they're liable to change at the last minute. A lot of what they do to draw Trump out, just strategies to try to trick him into making a mistake. Now they're playing the subpoena trap. I've told you about that. Trying to get Trump, to get his staff, people that work for him, to go before these committees and testify. But understand this. There is no way President Trump should allow members of his staff to go before a rigged hearing the way Shift is conducting. There's no way. Let me give you a good reason. You want to know why Shift? If you don't think this wasn't planned out, think of this. Why did Shift, when it came to the Republicans not being able to ask these witnesses any questions, they can't speak, they can't talk. All right, that's rigging it. That's rigging it. That's bad enough. But did you ever wonder why he would not let the Republicans cannot even take notes in these hearings? You ever wonder about that?
Can't hold them to the truth of what actually happened and was said.
Well, now you should be able to see the benefit of what he did there. As he releases these quote-unquote complete transcripts, right, that these people supposedly gave in these hearings, how do we know that they're giving word for word what was said in the hearing? How can the Republicans know if everything that's in the transcript is what was actually said, or if stuff had been left on?
Well, Larry,
so they weren't allowed to keep any record of it.
I mean, when we saw what happened with the transcript of the call to the Ukrainian president, the fact that Schiff came out saying something that was proven to be a lie, I mean, he set precedent for the fact that he does that. And so he's just proving that that's how he works by this game he's playing with against the Republicans.
That was the time, folks, that she's referring to when he supposedly did his parody of the transcript of the phone call. The parody. So you see, now we've got Adam Schiff, as I think most of you know, a liar, a proven liar, a man obsessed at any and all costs to destroy President Trump and us, me and you. At all costs, he's committed to destroying us. And we have given him the ability to release transcripts that provide him the opportunity to compose these transcripts and make them say anything he wants them to say. And there's nothing anybody can do about it. The Republicans can't claim foul because they can't prove that what he's twiddled with the transcript, they can't necessarily prove that it's wrong because they weren't allowed to document any of it. If you don't believe it was a plan, look at it now. That was malicious. He set it up this way for this exact outcome. This isn't an accident. This is no thing that just happened to his favor. They knew this going in. They knew this going in. So back to President Trump, why would you allow one of your staff people to go in a hearing that is as rigged as this is against you? You'd be a fool to do that. You would be an honest-to-God fool to do it.
You'd be a fool to do. Wait, Larry. Hang on, Larry. Larry, hold on. Hey, Larry, hold on. You'd be a fool to do what now? Couldn't hear.
Fool to let your staff people honor the subpoenas and go in before these committees.
Oh, Trump's staff, yeah.
Yeah. You'd be a fool. Because now you know how many of these people went in, gave their testimony to the committee, and now all of a sudden, they're changing their story. Huh? How did that happen? Why isn't anybody saying, well, wait a minute, weren't you under oath? Weren't you under oath when you went in and said you didn't see any quid pro quo? Were you under oath? If you were, then that was your answer. But now you're changing it to, well, now you perceive there was quid pro quo. And now all of a sudden, somebody that is not a psychologist, you know, in psychiatrics, is able to sit up in an environment like this and say, well, he didn't actually say it, but this is what I perceive that he meant. Folks, that wouldn't last a half a second in a court of law.
Unless it was rigged, right?
Mm-hmm. The defense attorney would object, would claim the witness is not qualified to make such a presumption. He has no degree or any background in analyzing human thought. Let me throw him out. No, not this deal. Not here. And you're not going to let your staff go into a hearing that's closed where the Republicans, which in a hearing situation act as your defense, basically attorney. You're not going to let them go into a hearing where your defense type people can't ask questions and even more can't even take notes to memorialize what was said. You wouldn't do that. You can't do that. Why doesn't President Trump just stick a gun to his head and pull the trigger? Same difference.
So how's he staying so calm?
Well, I'll get to that.
Okay.
But to show you how devious and how methodical, how maniacal shift and these guys are, they want Trump to not allow his staff to come. Remember, they're fishing, correct? They're fishing. They don't have a crime. They're trying to find a are released. You can't allow them to go into that. And they know it. And Schiff stands up and lies. He lies to the people of America. He stands up in front of those cameras and says, gosh, we're just trying to get to the crew. And the president just won't let his people come and speak to us. Why? What's wrong with him? He's trying to hide something. And the whole time, they know they don't want him to testify. They don't want him to allow him to testify. Why? Because they're fixing to spring the trap. In finding a crime, what a beautiful thing. They're creating the crime that he is going to commit. That's what's called a trap. They don't want him to let his people testify, and then when they don't testify, when they do not honor the subpoena, whoops, now Shift and his group of evil people, they're able to say, whoops, there's your crime. Obstruction of Congress. The president is obstructing Congress, which is a crime. Now they can impeach him, which is now why they will hold next week. Supposedly they'll start having the hearings. They have created the crime to which they sought, the one they were looking for. They created it. Trapped President Trump into committing it. He had no other play. He had nothing else he could do. I ask you all, is this the kind of government we want in America? Is it? You know, it is. It is President Trump today. It is. But tomorrow, it can be any one of us. You say, well, Lord, they're not going to do this to somebody like me. I'm a nobody, right? They're not going to do that to somebody like me. No, Adam Schiff and his band of criminals, now they're not going to come after you. They'll come after me, but they won't come after you. Well, then what do we got to worry about, right? I'm sure you're thinking, what have I got to worry about since he didn't come after me with these kind of dirty tricks? You didn't hear me earlier when I talked. You see, in this socialist system, communist system, it trickles down. It trickles down. So let me give you a real life situation that will impact you, could impact you. Let's say you've got a prosecutor in your town, and you've got a lovely daughter. Prosecutor sees your daughter, decides, you know what, I want to have sex with her, and calls you up and says, make your daughter available. I want to have sex with her this weekend. And you go, are you crazy? Are you sick? Of course, I'm not going to do that. My daughter's married, has lovely children. I wouldn't, no way, right? No way. What are you going to do with that local prosecutor? Drags you into court and pulls this trick on you. What are you going to do then? What are you going to do when the prosecutor can get anything he wants by coercing people in your community to do whatever he wants? That's you. It's not Trump. That's you. That's your family. And the more it's done, which it will be, the more it's done, the better they get at it, the better they get at it, the more they do it. And pretty soon, you are a community that lives in absolute fear of crossing your local prosecutor, because he's made a pretty good point. You cross me, somewhere in your life, you must have done something that I can prosecute you for. in life. Some kind in your life you must have. And he's going to convict you. How you like that? What do you think about that, folks? Send me your comments about that. I want to hear. I want to hear what you think about that. I bet you never thought about how it could happen to you. You're not big enough. You're not big enough to have to worry about it, are you? Oh, it's coming. It's coming. That's why I told you it's done every day. In a communist socialist country, it's done every day.
All right, James
It's not
asks,
done every day to the president or whatever. Every day it's done to common people in those countries. And it's a key to how they keep communities, how they keep people in submission. Yeah, whoever you are, you're going to be put in submission. Sure as the world. Rather easily, actually.
Yeah.
I know all of this. I can tell you. I can tell you firsthand. We did it to people here in Arkansas. I did it to people, y'all. The sin I can never erase. The thing I can never make good over. I did it. He did it. A whole state that lives in fear. And yes, oh yeah, when it got like that in Arkansas, you know what you can do? People could die. You're not worried about it. People could die, and they would just claim they were deaths that were horrible suicides that made absolutely no sense. That couldn't happen. You know, people couldn't actually contort their bodies to do what they were supposed to have done or what they supposedly had done. But you know what? You didn't bother with it. Anybody dared to challenge, we destroyed. We destroyed. So today, I have to stop it. I have to stop it before it happens nationally. I have to stop it before it destroys the country. And it will do it so fast you won't even believe it. You won't. That's why I have to ask y'all for help so bad, so desperately. So desperately I need your help. You see, not many people in this country that thoroughly know, and I'm talking about most brilliant attorneys on Trump's team, the Sekulows and the Rubies. Guess what? Those guys got no experience in this. It's new. I'm not saying they're not brilliant. Of course they're brilliant. And they have the capacity to learn very quickly, but they've never actually done it. They've never done it. I have. So now let's recap. Trump loses in 2020. Within 90 days, they will collapse the stock market. I don't think there's any of you that doubt they have the power with the institutional buyers to get the big boys to go and dump stuff in the market and destroy Wall Street, just take it down. And then because they do that, they're going to nationalize the banks, and none of you are going to have any money anymore. None. All you'll be allowed to do is get some pittance per week out of your account, even if you got $1 million, $50 to $70 to $100, all you're going to be able to get out. They're going to do that. Then going to start pulling this chain, put you in submission. And they're going to pick test cases, probably 3 or 4 per state, significant examples. And a prosecutor's going to come after yours or somebody's daughter or somebody's something. And they're going to pull at the local level exactly what they're doing to President Trump. And they're going to make sure everybody sees it. Oh, they control the media, right? So the media is going to cover it. Media is going to put the spin on it the way they need it to have.
And because you're not known, people believe what the media says because they don't know you well enough to know it's a lie.
Oh, yeah, people are going to say, no, what people are not going to know in your community, if it's coming out to you, they're not going to know the nuances of this trick. They're not going to know that they don't have anything on you yet. They can't know that. So you know what the public assumes? Well, you know, old Larry Nichols, he was a pretty good old boy, but they got something on him or they sure wouldn't be doing this to him. And then you know what happens? People go, you'll see people coming up to you on the street that you've known all your life. And it will break your heart. I've done it. It'll break your heart when you see them cross the street, in the middle of the street, in the middle of traffic, solely for the reason they don't walk past you and look you in the face. You'll be so alone.
You know what, Larry? I had that happen to me last night. I was at a Bible study last night, and anytime I spoke, nobody would look at me with what I had to offer. Not a single one of them.
Do you think that's bad? Well, and wait until you're charged with a crime.
Well, that's my point exactly. It's already happening. And this is nothing that I'm talking about, and it's already happening to me. So I can't imagine, you know, I'm
Trust me, if they decided to come after you when you went to your church last night, somebody would have met you at the door and said, "Man, we wish you just wouldn't come in today."
Well, I think they said that by failing to look at me or say hello. I think that was pretty obvious.
I want to hear your comments. Send your comments in. Do you want to help me? Do you want this country to end like duck? I'm telling you, because remember, within 90 days, they're going to crash the market. And you know what happens then? They nationalize the banks. Now you got no money. Then, within the next 45 to 60 days, they start picking key example cases all across the country in each state. Examples that they're going to start prosecuting for nothing, where nothing existed. And they'll use the same fishing expedition, what they're doing with Trump, until they find something you did one day, 10 years ago, you jaywalked. No matter what the crime is, it's got to find you committing one. And then they may not use the subpoena trap on you, but they'll use a trap. They'll set a trap and make you be screwed. Look, I'm sick. I'm so sick I can't hardly talk. I'm so sick I can't stand. I can't. I'm running 102 feet right. Why am I here? Why? It's because this is so important. And I'm not trying to make me out to be some kind of martyr. It's not that at all. I'm doing it because I helped start this. I helped create this. I have a burden. I have a burden on my shoulders that I've got to do everything in my power to see that it never happens to another soul in this country. Help me. Betty sent some and sent some for you. Can't you please? Please do it and do it now.
Do you have a figure that we need to aim for, Larry, or do you want to just, I mean, we need to do whatever we can.
Well, we've got to get 500 minimum.
500 folks.
Got to about your country. It is. You're awfully quiet. I hope I haven't offended y'all. Since I've had to ask for money, I know people probably leaving in droves. They don't get around here.
No, they're not. They're not. You know, people. Mary's saying this is a different Mary from the one you know before. We need you, Larry. Chris says, I was a new minister at a church a few years ago when staff members would walk to the other side of the hallway away from me because I wasn't one of them.
Oh, I can only imagine a minister, preacher, going into a new church, finding out that this new church you go to is a 501c3, they tell you. And therefore, you can't discuss politics because that's wrong. You don't do that in the 501c3, and they will warn you. They'll warn you. You talk about politics from the pulpit, and we'll lose our tax-exempt status, which, by the way, to you, that's an absolute lie. They can't do that. They don't do that. But they've got people scared and believing they do that. And then you get to ask your church that you just went into and hope to be a preacher at or whatever. You know, you find out that they don't talk about homosexuality. You know, it's just, we don't talk about that. Of course, they'll give you the standard line. You know, we hate the sin, but we love the sinner, and we want the homosexuals to come to our church. What they really say is, or what they're really saying here, I'm pulling a shift. I'm actually putting words into their mouth, of course. But I admit it. What they're really saying is, we want their money in the drum each Sunday. This church operates on money. We have to have money. And if we start eliminating different segments of our community, then they won't come. If we don't come, we don't get the money. We don't get to grow. And in growing, that means the pastors don't get to make as much money. But then you wonder, if you're a preacher, well, if they only preach about sodomy and the sin of it, what other things in the Bible are they not going to preach about? What other things have they determined, or must have determined, that God made a mistake in pointing those things out? Must have made a mistake because you don't think you should exclude them, or you shouldn't deal with sin and homosexuality or whatever. Everywhere we turn, they're changing us. And they've changed us so far, so many times. We're not left. We're not here anymore. Oh, yeah, we still call ourselves Americans, but we don't act like it. We don't act like it. We don't. Half of the United States of America are willing to stay, willing to transform our country from a representative republic, constitutional form of government that has served us well, made us the greatest nation on earth, willing to change it, become a communist socialist country. I like that. Half. How much longer would it be? Kate sent 21.97. I guess she said 25. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's see. Here's what I've gotten. So let me know. What is today? Wednesday. I got 28 from Barbara, 15 from Ann, 20 from Betty, and 21.97 from Kate. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Send me your comments. I want to know what you think of this. I want to know what you think about all this. By the way, could be a ringer put in as an independent to hurt President Trump. And as I have told you, and trust me, the industry knows it. So everybody in the political industry knows if a ringer can get 5, 6 percentage points of the vote, then a ringer against Trump could not possibly win. So therefore, if somebody runs and claims to be a conservative, claims to be a Donald Trump, but with a better attitude and a better language, better charisma, better style, and people have an option to vote for Trump or vote for somebody like that, or, you know, the deep state Republicans want a old guard Republican like they've always had. So you know what, they bring in somebody like Romney. All you got to get is 5%, and Trump can't possibly win. Scary. It's like we're defeated. Because sure as the world, they will run a ringer if they think they can get by with it. Now, the good news. The good news. I don't think they can run a ringer anywhere near as well. It sounds like I'm bragging, but I'm not. It's just historical proof will back me up. When it comes to running ringers and doing damage, I can do it. And I can do it better than they can.
That's why you have to stay in the fight, Larry. We've got to keep you here.
But in this case, Mary Ellen, I don't necessarily know that it's that important for me to have to worry about putting a counter ringer in to combat Romney or whoever they choose to use as a ringer. See, the Democratic Party's got problems, folks. They got real problems. You see all these people that support Bernie Sanders, and now the killer, the thing that Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats woke up to that shook them to their knees was when AOC and that squad group decided to endorse and back Sanders. Oh, what a big deal. For you see, they're going to rig it to where Sanders can't win again. If they can't, they will not allow Bernie Sanders to win. He's not going to be the Democratic nominee for president. DNC will stop it. They will. But when they do, of course, AOC and the gang, they're going to be irate. They are going to literally come unglued. And when they do, they're going to split off. And all Sanders has got to do is take with him 5% of the vote that the Democrats are counting on going to the Democratic nominee for president. And guess what? They can't win. They can't possibly win. Now, when you take that situation, then you got what's his name, the mayor of wherever.
That Buttigieg, but
Buttigieg or whatever. Weird. See, now when they railroad him out, he didn't get it. Although they might back him, he's the perfect poster child for the new Democrat. But if they don't give it to him, all of a sudden, they run the risk of all of the homosexual community saying, that's it, we're not going to back the Democrat. Now, they're not going to vote for Trump. They're just not going to vote. So what if he drags 2% of the vote? Now you got Sanders. What if he draws 5, 6%? Whatever. He drags 2%. Think about it. Each one of those candidates that are committed to a specific society in America, you know, this broken coalition, that's the front of the broken coalition. You get all these little groups, you put them together, now you got a significant number. Oh, Lordy, you cross them, and they turn against you. And when they turn against you, you lose. Think about it. So I don't want you writing this thing off yet. know what I know. And that's why they're so scared that they have to impeach Trump, because they believe they can't beat him for the very reason I'm telling you. They know they're so split and divided that they'll never be able to hold a solid coalition together this time to even mount a good race against him.
Even with all their freebies.
All their freebies, yes. Even with all their freebies, they won't make a good race.
Hey folks, you can hear Larry's voice going down. I know we haven't taken questions. We've been on for an hour already, and I'm sorry about not many questions today. He had asked you for a little bit of feedback.
Stop. I'm going to take the questions. That's not fair. I've done my mouth. I'll pay for it, but I'm asking people to help me. So if I'm asking people to help me, then I will answer the questions or as many as I can until I drop. So what have you got? I'm sorry. What do you got, honey?
Is there a way to stop Schiff? Is there a way to stop what's happening? Now, before you answer that, Larry, we had decided that we were going to call senators this week, and the script is on the website nicholslive.com. And you have to, I'm sorry, with 53 senators, we didn't have enough space to be able to, we're limited on what we can put on the website. Because it's a free website. So we're limited on space. But if you go to senate.gov, look under contact, check on senators and look under contact, and then you can check by party. And there is a list of all the senators, and they are listed in alphabetical order, but you can get an alphabetical list where they're mixed, or you can go by party and they're in alphabetical order with the Dems on top and the Republicans at the bottom. Just go through and make calls. Or you can just say, you know, I want to talk to the Republican senator from, and pick a red state that you think might have one. And the phone number for the switchboard is 202-224-3121. Anyhow, just go to the website. I want you to know that Rindy has done a lot of the calls. Lisa in California got through everybody today. She called every single one of them today. And she's got a friend working on it as well. So that's something that we'd ask you guys to do. So if you've done it and want to report to us tonight, you can come to the conference call. The phone number for the conference call is in the description below. So other than that, Larry, what are things that we can do to stop what Schiff's doing? Is there anything? I mean, obviously keeping you in the fight because of what you know and what you can do is the number one way. But is there anything else we can do?
Y'all will have to do what I tell you when I tell you. It's okay right now to do what Mary Ellen's talking about. But once they start the impeachment hearing or trial, or whatever you want to call what they'll have starting Wednesday, if they go through with it, there will come a time when we will need to collateralize what President Trump's legal team, Giuliani and Nichols, what they're going to be doing. We have a very significant role coming up in what's to happen with this shift ordeal. At this second, other than doing what Mary Ellen has told you about, and in addition to that, talking to the people around you, making people understand what's going on. That's about what you should do right now. And I promise you, there will be a day coming very soon when we're going to have to lean on the Republican senators in ways they've never been leaned on before. So, hold on. It's coming.
Renee, when you say, do you think mainstream media, Twitter and Facebook will block Trump in 2020? Yes, they've already said they will block all conservatives as we get closer. They're already starting to do it. YouTube will too.
Yes.
So,
They will do it.
and make sure, folks, make sure.
So that y'all know they will do it at the time when they're absolutely certain that there can be no challenge legally that could possibly affect what they're doing. So they'll be able to do it, and it will hold at least through the election.
Folks, make sure you look at the description under the video and get the conference call phone number, because until that is blocked, that will always be a way that we can communicate. So make sure you've got that information so that when we're blocked here, you can call in. Okay? Are we at the mercy of the enemy? Are we completely helpless?
No. No, we're not. No, we are not. In no way. What I'm telling you is defeatist. It's realistic, but it's not defeatist. I have told you nothing that we can't handle. But it's going to involve rallying our people, all of our people. Hard base or soft base, we've got to rally our people to the cause of saving this country. We've got to.
Yeah.
That's our hope. That's our dream. That's why President Trump is going out and doing these rallies. He knows that's just, I know he knows, and he knows, I know. Anyway, just know. He's doing that for a purpose. He's doing what we got to do. He's spreading the word. He's going to the hard base. That's who shows up at the rallies. And he's firing them up. But if you listen, if you watch, he's trying to get these people at these rallies to spread the good news, spread the word. Spread the word. And as we get closer into the election season, he will get more specific. He will. It's coming. Well,
Is Nadler trying to get Trump to forfeit?
Please, y'all.
We've got to keep Larry in this fight, folks. His PayPal is nicholslive@aol.com. That's the fastest way. And if you go to nicholslive.com, the website, the donate page, there are several options. We've got to get something through PayPal.
You got to do it now. I swear to you, we got to do it now. What was the question?
Is Nadler trying to get Trump to forfeit executive privilege?
Yes, he's not.
Yeah. Stormy, the question about the Kentucky governor, we discussed that at the beginning, so go back to the beginning and listen again. We can't have Larry do this. Larry has ideas on ways to stop this, both with what he does and what he's going to have us do. Somebody is suggesting skywriting with drones. Pence has already been announced as Trump's running mate. We need to get Larry up to at least $500 this afternoon because of how sick he is, and we can go into more about that later.
I've got a meeting that I'm supposed to be in on the phone at 5. I've got to be there, and I've got to get treatment before then. I won't make it. I shouldn't tell you that, but I got to. What else you got, Miriam?
There's some questions about the wall. Wendy's going to send something when she gets home from work. The
wall should become an imperative after what you saw, what we've all seen with thank you again, hon. They refuse to deal with the issue of the border. And folks, those people, those cartel people that did that, they're here. They travel back and forth across that border. It's only 30 miles. 10 of those people died to the border. 30 miles. You don't think they're not frequenting this country? You don't think they're not running around here? The border has got to be stopped. Then you've got a Mexican president. Another thing I'm involved in is President Trump is showing gracious patience. Gracious patience. While not taking our military and just blowing in and wiping out cartels in Mexico. He is trying his best to honor the President of Mexico and to try and put the President of Mexico to get the President of Mexico. His motto when he ran was, instead of guns, do hugs. Not working.
Somebody said the guns are still running and he hasn't stopped it. And it's I get so frustrated with people saying things like that.
Just know this, guys. Here we go. Obstruction of justice, right? Leverage, right? President Trump is in a position to where he needs to tell the President of Mexico, either you straighten this out, or we're going to withhold all of the aid we give to Mexico. All of it. That's what he needs to do. But right now, his legal team is telling him he can't do that. Because once again, if he does that, they're going to claim quid pro quo. They're going to get a copy of the phone call. They're going to claim that it was a quid pro quo, so he cannot use executive leverage that's been used by every president in every country that we give foreign aid to. You can't do it now. Thank you, Democrats. Thank you for removing that weapon from the president. The one weapon that should be being used right now. Now, one thing, Tom Cotton, senator from Arkansas, he may have messed up. I wish he wouldn't have done what he did. But he apparently, I'm told, held a press conference or was interviewed by the press, not a conference. And he pretty much threw it out there that Mexico better do something or we will. He shouldn't have done that. Not that it's not true. It's just he should not have given advance warning to something that might be used. Just think of it this way, guys. If we could eliminate ISIS from their caliphate in Syria, if we could shut that down, surely you have no doubt we could shut down the cartels in Mexico. We could. But we have to be invited. At this time, we have to be invited. But I would warn the President of Mexico, you're getting very close to the point where we may not have an option. We may not. But here we go. The Democrats are putting the entire nation at risk by not supporting at least the president on this issue. Dear God, 9 people, kids, burned to death. My God, Democrats, you're getting to be like those monsters that did it in your zeal to get rid of President Trump. You're totally just not doing your job for the people of this country to protect us. How low can you go? How much lower can you go? What else, man?
Can Trump be taken to an international criminal court since he's admitted it's only about oil in Syria?
No. he cannot. He can be taken there, but it would have absolutely zero meaning. He's not going to go. They might try him in absentia. It would have no meaning. Just like it has no meaning when they go after other people around the world, other leaders in other countries. They have no teeth. They can't do anything. Whatever.
James says El Chapo himself would walk into a government job based on affirmative action laws before young white teenage American Christians with a master's degree.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all.
Says we haven't, go ahead. What?
I said I do not. I don't doubt it.
Yeah. We haven't wiped out the criminals doing the same thing. Huh?
Got to do this flash for everybody in America. Our government today values illegal immigrants more than they do natural-born American citizens.
Yep.
Newsflash, you need to know that, just so you know. They have a higher value than we do.
Mary's girl has asked 3 times now, will anything happen to Hillary over human trafficking?
There will be something come at Hillary criminally. But as of this present moment in time, William Barr has no investigation into Hillary connected to human trafficking. Now, it may be at all, meaning it may be included in some of the other things pending, but an actual investigation of that specifically, nothing's going on it yet. Doesn't mean it won't, it's just not yet. And I would tell everybody, don't be mad about that. Remember, Attorney General William Barr has to prioritize what, who, and when he goes after people. There's a whole bunch of illegal folks inside our government. I mean, and there's all types of sub-crimes going on within our government. He has to prioritize his cases, and he's got to do it just right. So he's got to pick the right case to pursue first. So don't be impatient. Just know he's got to work all of these cases, and he's got to do it as he can. What else?
Passionate Horseman says if we don't get this turned around with Trump, none of the crooks will see justice.
That's exactly right. Which is part of the point behind all of this. That's part of it. It's a way to forestall anything happening to any of the deep state characters, because they're all tied up with the impeachment and going after Trump. And if they get Trump, guess what? Everything goes back to normal. The deep state will have won. There'll be no prosecution, period. None. I don't think I've done a good job
Do you know anything about the FBI, the IRS, and somebody else going after the AG office in Buffalo?
Do not.
Okay.
Sorry, no.
Huffman asks, are we at a point of no return?
Yes. We certainly are. We're at a point of no return. We win or we lose. There's nothing in between for us. We get our country back or we lose it completely. That's the only options we face right now. The only options available to us. What are you willing to do? What are each one of y'all willing to do? What are you willing to do to save this country? Huh? Have you ever asked yourself that? What are you willing to do?
Well, I'm going to say, Larry, that there are some people that I'm going to consider as part of your team who really have given everything to help save this country.
Yes, they have.
Larry has, and there are others on this team who have done that. And you guys have no idea the debt of gratitude that is owed to some of the people who have absolutely done this. And I know times are tough for so many of you. And I hate, like Larry does, to have to belabor this point. But if we can't keep Larry in this fight, and it takes money to do that, we got a problem. So Larry's.
I don't need anybody to bleed. Important to the overall cause. That's some big time important thing or person. That I have a part that I am blessed to have, to be able to participate in this battle. I do. But I need y'all to realize that you've got a part. And it's just as important as mine. And each and every one of us, our parts in this fight, believe it or not, is just as important as President Trump. It's just different. We just have different responsibilities, different parts that we have to be responsible for.
Ellie says it looks like the fight is over and we've lost, but that's not true.
Not true.
Not true yet.
That's not true at all. To be quite honest, Holly, the fight is just not beginning. It's just not beginning. Sometimes you have to let the enemy give you the plan. Sometimes you have to sit back and let the enemy give up what he's up to. And then and only then can you return fire appropriately. That's where we are. And we have to let the ship play its cards. We have to know where ship's going. We have to know what ship's plans are. We have to be able to know what his next move probably will be and be able to have a strategy to defeat it. But you have to give these things time to manifest. This fight's not over. It's just starting. Ollie, it's just starting. What else?
Renee said that she did her best to help save Virginia, and so she's feeling a little defeated.
I know. But there are things you can't stop. Virginia is just a breeding ground for the deep state. It is. And it's just going to be that way for a while.
Well, you know, I'm going to say that Virginia and Maryland have a similar issue going. The counties that are directly around Washington, D.C. are extremely, extremely highly populated and liberal, Democrat. And the populations in the outlying areas that are Republican, those populations are too low to counterbalance, to enable Virginia and Maryland right now to be red states. And of course, with Maryland, we just had a couple city mayor vote elections yesterday, so I had nothing to vote for. But Maryland has the second most gerrymandered system in the whole state. We're the second most gerrymandered state in the whole country. I'm not sure who's number one, but we're number two. And I know that that's what they're now going to do in Virginia. They've got enough power now that they can ribbon strip the whole state from this highly populated area, blue area around DC. And you know what needs to happen is you got to up the population in the outlying areas, which is possible, only theoretically maybe. Yes, it is the DC area that's so bad, exactly, just like with Maryland. Yep.
Marianne,
Yes, sir.
I'm scared to go, and I've got to go. I'm afraid if I go, we won't make it to the goal.
Yeah.
I've got to go. I can't.
Yeah, go ahead, Larry. I mean, we've been on an hour and a half. That's a long time for you, hon. You're just really having, we can hear it. So.
All right, folks, keep the faith. Don't give up. Don't get down. Don't confuse me being sick with me being depressed or sad. I know what's going on. I know. It's just I'm so damn sick. That's all that's wrong with me. So I'm gonna go.
Okay. Thanks, Larry. All right, folks. Joel, you asked who I work for. I don't work for anybody. I volunteer with Larry. And that's it. And I am very much all about helping to save this country from communism and socialism. And Renee, thank you for your gift. I mean, before your gift, Renee, we were at, I think, 160, because I think he said Mary had sent 50. So that gives us 160 plus whatever Renee said. No, Mary, we did not get enough money to Larry. So we're still, he needed 500 and he's got 160. So that's still another 340 to go, minus whatever Renee was able to send. So we're still quite a long ways away from what he needs. And if he doesn't get at least $400, you know, I mean, he doesn't have insurance. I was explaining this to somebody who took care of stuff last night. Thank God for what he did. But I can't say here. Thanks, Pam. I can't say what I hear publicly, what I said individually to somebody. But if you need any of that kind of information, you just need to contact me directly, and I can tell you some things that I certainly can't say here. Thanks, Sharon. Folks, we've got a patriot of patriots that needs our help. There are things Larry has told us over and over and over again. There are things that he can do that none of the rest of us have the impact, the connections, the influence to be able to do. And John, he cannot go to the VA. I do not know why. I cannot explain why. If you want to call me, I can give you my guess why. I'll try, Matt, to confirm that for you. I can't explain why he can't be at the VA. I don't know. I can only guess. If you need to know my guess, then give me a call. thanks for sending $5. Let's keep this going. We have to keep him in this fight. So he had Social Security. It was taken away from him. He was a Green Beret. I'm not sure that he's even, I don't even know if he is on the books as existing. I don't know. I have no idea. But if there are powerful people who can wipe somebody out, I would think that they would do their best, that if they can't physically wipe him out, they would digitally do so. So, there are things, Huffman, please work on that. Please, that's your project. Thank you. There are things about Larry that are beyond being able to comprehend because of who he is and what he has done and what he is able to do. I would imagine that what Renee has put in the chat is absolutely correct. I can't verify it. I can't prove it. Therefore, I will not say it verbally out loud to the audience here. But if you're in the chat and see what Renee just said, that would be what I would tell you as my guess in a private conversation. You are welcome to call and discuss with me, and I'll do what I can. But I respect Larry's privacy, and I will not tell you. I can't tell you more than what Larry tells you here. If you have missed things, I can catch you up. But there is nobody who can take care of nobody's allowed to know what Larry is doing. We can only know what he has been able to do in the past. If you buy 28 Years to Nowhere, his book, you can get that at the website nicholslive.com. You can read about the things that he has done, because he talks about everything that happened from when he and Bill Clinton split until it goes up through the 2016 election. And so somebody trying to no, it's just a fundraiser request. Thanks, Claire. Sitting there. What do you mean it's just sitting there, Claire? Please text me. I don't, my phone is, I'm trying to text something into the phone here and it is not going through, I don't think. I am putting cell phone number here again. We'll see if it'll go in. Some of the things I've texted have gone in and some have not. If anybody, Sharon, can you put my text number in for me? Because I can't do it from the computer because my digits don't work, the numbers don't work, and the cell phone's not letting it in. So no, it didn't go in. So I don't know, YouTube's blocked my personal account, so I can't put it in, and I can't go in with my phone under Larry Nichols' official channel. So I do not know. I'm blocked from my own program. Can you believe it? It's crazy. I don't understand what you're saying, John, about Alex Jones. Believe me, Larry's been close to that many, many times, and Larry's like the Energizer Bunny. When he gets the treatment he needs, he bounces back, and when he doesn't get the treatment he needs, he goes down really far, really fast. And we can't afford to have that happen, because then he just is too deprived of what he needs and he can't function. So thanks for what everybody has done. And I'm not going to stay here and just belabor this or argue with people. Pam, you're right. If you work in secret ops, the government denies knowing you. That is true. That is true. And there are people who were promised product sponsors. Product sponsors try to control what you say. If you have any ideas on product sponsors we might try, please text me and contact me and let's talk about it. Sharon, can you put in my cell phone number? Because I can't do it from my cell phone and I can't do it from the computer right now. Look, folks, I've met Larry. I have been in his home. I have seen the conditions under which he lives. I have seen what he was like 2.5 years ago. And he's in a lot worse shape right now just because of the progression of what he's dealing with. He's also in many ways better than he used to be because of the treatment he got last summer. But when he is working 20 hours a day again, in his condition, it takes its toll. So he needs help. No, Huffman, my PC's keyboard doesn't work anymore, so I've got problems there. I've got too many digits in my cell number that the computer will not allow me to type anymore. It's broken. I got a broken computer. So that's why I use the cell phone to try and put it in, and now I'm blocked. So life is fun. So Sharon, if you can put my cell phone number in for everybody before we hang up, that'd be awesome. My cell phone number is in the description under the video. So if you need to contact me, you can get it right there when it's talking. Just read through it carefully. It's there. It starts with 240. It's 240-499-6729. And believe me, if the deep state realized what Larry was doing, they'd probably start up again all their efforts to take him out that they did unsuccessfully last year. All right, folks, I've got a call coming in I have to take. Just give me a minute. I have to answer this. Hey, Charlie, I'm still on the YouTube channel, so I'll call you back as soon as I hang up from it, okay? All right. Yeah, I've got to take that call, but it can wait. Now that sorry about having to do that, folks. Let's keep the money coming in. I have gone door to door and asked neighbors to help. If you are allowed to do that in your neighborhood, that is an idea. We've had several other kinds of ideas, but this need is real. He needs to be on the phone in another hour and a half. When he gets his treatment, he needs 45 minutes to make sure that it is working and he's not having a violent reaction. I'm looking at, yeah, I'm sure he's blacklisted for as much as Larry does. So whoever that means, I would imagine. So I'm going to hang up now. I've got to deal with that phone call that just came in. So folks, thanks, Gloria, for understanding. Gloria says that after reading the book, there's a lot more she understands. So if you realize, read the book 28 Years to Nowhere and see what Larry has done. It does explain, why Larry's dealing with some of what he's done when you think of who the players are involved in all of this. So, all right, I'm starting to really shiver because I'm really cold. So I need to get some heat going and get on this call that I need to return. So thank you. Before my teeth start chattering, keep I don't know where to find an on-screen keyboard. And so if you know Huffman, you can text me and let me know. Thanks, guys. Please keep the money coming in. He needs it ASAP. God bless you, folks. Bye.